Coming up on this episode of DL Weekly, a new Disneyland documentary is coming, new Napa Rose details, a bunch of fun novelties are coming to the resort.
Go beyond the Spires with Imagineering. We have dates for the 2026 D23 Ultimate Fan Event. We talk Disneyland Rucking with David Sparks and more. DL Weekly starts now.
Ahoy there, Weekly Tears! For your safety, remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the podcast. And watch your children. And no flash pictures. Prepare to make sail!
Hello and welcome to this episode of DL Weekly for the week of September 3rd, 2025. I'm Teresa Urban.
And I'm Tag Bushman. How did it become September already?
That's what I was thinking, too, as I said that. I was like, wow.
Jeez. Well, we would like to thank everyone who supports the show. This week, we'd like to give a special shout out to Jessica D. for becoming a new weekly tier, and Lisa A. for increasing your support. Also to Matt and Rhonda U. and Dylan H. for supporting the show. If you would like to help support the show and get ad-free versions of each episode, access our supporter-only chat that has a bunch of fun games and stuff in it. We were just talking about it on our live stream. We have trivia.
Chain reaction.
Chain reaction.
What it's called. Mm-hmm.
We have all types of fun games in there every day.
Color corner, where you get us like color blocks, and you have to try and guess what character the color blocks represent.
Audio from the park,
clips.
like little audio clips you have to guess, all that stuff, and a bunch of other fun perks. Head on over to DLWeekly.net/support and become an official weekly tier.
Now let's get to the news.
Extra, extra, read all about it. DL Weekly reports from intrepid correspondents Tag and Teresa. You heard it here first, ladies and gents. Breaking news!
Weekly tiers who enjoyed the Imagineering story on Disney Plus are in for a treat. This winter, Leslie Iwerks will release her new documentary, Disneyland Handcrafted, on Disney Plus and YouTube. The documentary does a deep dive into Disneyland from early conception to opening day. It will include new footage never seen before during this time. Check out the trailer at the link in our show notes.
Okay, first of all, I would like to say that I'm very proud of myself for actually catching these Gold Theater streams for once, because I've missed all of them. I put them in my calendar and I caught both of them and I watched the full thing. Yeah.
Dang, that's pretty good.
I had to go see our good friend Michael Vargo.
Yes, I only caught, so what we're referring to this past weekend was Destination D23. So a lot of the news that we're sharing this week was announced at this event. And what they did was, for D23 Gold members that weren't able to attend, they did stream some of the panels, which was amazing. You did better than me. I was only able to watch the first panel with Michael Vargo, the intro panel. And
you didn't watch the rest of that day?
No, because I had appointments. Oh. I had an appointment right after that. So, and then I don't remember what I was doing Sunday, but then something else overlapped Sunday. So
Sunday,
I missed it.
So I screwed up on Sunday. I thought it was the same time on both days. So I got up early on Sunday. And was like, I went to the website and it's like 2 hours from now or 3 hours from now. I'm like, oh, this doesn't start until the afternoon almost. So I was like, okay. So I got some other stuff done. Yeah. But one of the things that they talked about is what you're talking about right now, which is this new documentary that Leslie Iwerks, who, like Teresa said, made the documentary Imagineering story and the book, is making this new thing. And this has, I watched the trailer. Just the trailer has a ton of footage I've never seen before.
I genuinely don't. So they actually explain this, but like I still don't understand how there is still footage from opening day that's new. Like, how is there still new, never seen before footage, right? Because it's been 70 years. So it's just wild to me. But they explained that Walt had hired like a company to document the process, and that's why there is so much footage. But still, it's wild that it's just been kept tucked away for years and years and years. So I'm really excited to see more. And it looks so good.
This is just more stuff, right? That like the more stuff Disney can put out like this, the better. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't know. I'm so excited to see the construction and to hear the story. And like, I don't know. I'm as excited for this as I was for the Imagineering story. Like, because we love Disneyland so much, and this is all just about Disneyland. And so as somebody who loves like learning about Disneyland in the early years and like how it was all started, this is going to be an amazing show. The other thing that's weird is not only is it going to premiere on Disney Plus, but it's also going to be on YouTube. which
That's
again, it's another one of those things. It's like, why are you also putting it on YouTube? I guess to get it a wider audience of people. I don't know.
And maybe it's not. Well, I mean, we'll see. Maybe it's different. Maybe there's a different version on Disney Plus than what's going to be released on YouTube. Who knows? Because maybe it'll just be like little like bites.
Yeah.
Versus the entirety. We'll find out.
I'm
Time
just
will tell.
very excited. Something that doesn't have anything to do with Disneyland, but I do just want to quickly mention some of the other things announced at the Destination D23. They're doing a Tron Ares ride overlay at the Tron because they can change the color of the canopy. Yeah. That's so cool. I was like, more overlays? Yes, please.
What an easy overlay, too. Did you also see, again, we're veering off the path for
there was a lot of
Disneyland, that they are going back to the more original color scheme for the Cinderella Castle in Walt Disney World.
Okay, so because I'm not a Disney World expert, I saw the concept art and I'm like, isn't that what it looks like?
It did, and then they changed it, because remember when
they went gold.
When we were there in 2020, it was very similar to the colors on the Disneyland Castle, like kind of the more like, I don't know, pinks and blues, and yeah. I just thought, I was like, I thought that's what it was, but I guess you're right. Yes, it was, and then it wasn't, but now it's going to be again.
Yeah.
I'm also really enjoying all of this isn't specific to D23, just Disney news in general. I'm really. Well, no, some of it was talked about during D23. All of the announcements for the cruise line. So there's like different drinks and stuff that are going to be announced, like food and drinks that are announced for the Disney Destiny. There's like, you can have like an interaction with the Shadow Man, Dr. Facilier, like where he'll read your tarot cards and stuff. So it's not just like your regular meet and greet. They had a whole villains panel, which was also very fun and very cool. But anyways.
Interesting.
More news. What other news did we hear from Destination D23?
Well, the Destination D23 event started off strong with the announcement of the dates for the next D23 Ultimate Fan Event. The 2026 event will take place from August 14th through the 16th and will still be at the Anaheim Convention Center, along with the Honda Center for the largest panels. Tickets will go on sale in spring, but when we say the largest panels, again, these are the same things. These are the Legends ceremony, the Parks panel, and the Entertainment panel. Exciting. Yeah, so if you are considering going, I would recommend, we're doing the same, booking your hotel room now so that you can guarantee, which hotel you'd like to stay at, hopefully possibly get better rates because you're booking early. But yeah, if this is something you're interested in, I would look at getting your hotel figured out now rather than, couple weeks before, or like right when tickets go on sale, because that'll be another really popular time for people to be searching for hotel rooms. Did you said you watched the beginning? Yes. Did you see Jodie Benson sing the Disneyland song? Did. Okay. I did. And she got, what was she? She's the fan ambassador, which I think is so fun. I didn't know. That's like a new thing that I've added to the list. And I'm like, oh, how do I become a fan? I mean, I'm not going to. If people like Jodie Benson are being fan ambassadors, I'm like, that's such a cool thing. I want to be a fan ambassador. I can be an honorary fan ambassador, kind of like an honorary citizen to Disneyland. Teresa, you're DLWeekly's fan ambassador. There you go. Do I get a nice little name tag like Jodie did? I mean, we could probably make something. I have access to a lot of cool tools at work now. There you go. We'll make our own name tags. Did you notice that too, by the way? Like, going in the weeds again. The Destination D23, they had specific name tags for that. By the way, Becky Cline. So while they were resetting the stage between different panels, Becky Cline came out and just it seemed like off the top of her head, just like, I'm going to talk about some little topic like China, like Disney's involvement in China, or Disney's involvement in, there was some other location she was talking about. And I was just like, or in like South America. And I was like, she's so good. Because even if she did all the research, which of course she did, but like, even if she was reading off a prompter or something, her delivery was just very like, very natural. I just, let me just tell you about this. I know things. Yeah. That's awesome. So if you guys get a chance, they did put, if you're D23 Gold members, they did put a lot of, I noticed when I went in there, they put some of the previous Gold things on there again. Oh. So I was like, oh, sweet, I can watch, because like the thing that I missed that had like Don Hahn in it, I think they put that out there finally. Out there? Yeah. Very cool. So anyway, if you become a D23 Gold member, plus this year's gift is really amazing.
Well, the Napa Rose at Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa is currently under renovation. At, you guessed it, Destination D23, new concept art was shown of the reimagined space. The outdoor patio is being expanded to accommodate more guests with lush greenery and soft lighting. 2 new fireplaces will also be on the patio for guests to enjoy. Inside, the dining room will blend craftsman style with modern California sophistication.
Yeah, so
it looks nice.
Like, we knew that they were expanding the outdoor patio. We didn't know what it was going to look like. This looks really nice. I'd like to go sit there and chill out. And then the inside also looks pretty cool. This is one of those locations at Disneyland that I've just never eaten at. You've never eaten there. So this is something, but is always highly spoken of.
Yes.
Especially if you like higher end dining, I guess.
I am so curious about this patio seating. It feels like DCA's version, sort of. Bear with me here. This maybe made more sense in my brain and less sense as now that I'm saying it out loud. But it feels kind of like Blue Bayou Pirates of the Caribbean, like that kind of like kinetic thing, because it's like the exterior of the hotel looking out into the park versus like, you know what I mean?
This reminds me more of the Magic Key Terrace.
Oh, that's a better one. But this is kind of like you're peeking in because you're like on the edge of the park looking in, kind of like Blue Bayou.
But you're on,
are
you?
Yeah. Do you not look? There's the grizzly bear.
Yeah, but
in the
that's
back.
way off in the distance. What is this?
It is because this would be in the space between.
I don't know. Maps this because I don't know where this is at.
Because we saw them doing construction and tearing stuff up, but it makes me feel like you're not in the park, but you're kind of in the park, like Blue Bayou, where you're not in the attraction, but you're kind of like you kind of are.
That's gonna be that's like a really nice spot.
And
if
there's the gate, right? The
the
turnstiles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
So you're like encroaching to the park, but you're not in the park.
Huh. Okay.
Anyways, it looks gorgeous.
Well, a number of new novelty items are coming to the Disney parks and resorts. For Christmas, a holiday Christmas tree truck bucket will be available. Over at Trader Sam's Enchanted Tiki Bar, 2 versions of the holiday zombie mug will scare up some fun beverages. A Monsters, Inc. Scream canister bucket and a Little Green Men jetpack zipper are also coming. For Easter next year, a Winnie the Pooh and Piglet spring bucket, and later next year, a Bantha sipper will be available at Disneyland and on select Disney Cruise Line ships.
These look so fun. So I think the one that I was most excited about was probably not the one people would pick.
Which is the Tiki Room or the Tiki Bar?
Yes, the Trader Sam's Enchanted Tiki Bar Holiday Zombie Mug. I don't know why, but I just really enjoy it. In fact, I'm going to have to... Oh, we're not going to be there for the holiday. We'll be there for Halloween, but not the holidays. I was going to ask if Vern would want it for his collection. One I do know that will be making its way into our collection, I'm sure, is the Bantha.
Oh, sure.
That Bantha sipper.
This one's cool. Where is this at? Oh, this is on the Disney Cruise Line.
Yes, those are on the Disney Cruise Line. So they also really released the Disney Destinies version of the Haunted Mansion Parlor will have 2 separate mugs from what the Treasure currently has. There's going to be a Poseidon mug, so that's one of the portraits in there that kind of like shifts and changes. And then there's also a Siren mug, which again is another portrait in there that shifts and changes.
This Little Green Men jetpack zipper, you know what they need to do? They need to find a way so when you take a sip out of it, it goes, ooh.
There you go. There you go. And then we had a Scream canister like water bottle, but now
James
it's like a popcorn bucket thing. The thing that looks neat about this, this looks like you could easily wear it around the park and it would be
like a prop.
Quite usable too.
Yeah.
Like you could have it slung around your shoulder easily and it's not going to be clopping into stuff. In fact, it's actually made to look like it's been beaten up, so it's okay if it bumps into stuff.
Gets beat up.
Because it just is part of the aesthetic.
I think it's interesting that they're announcing like the Winnie the Pooh and Piglet bucket for like next Easter already.
Yeah.
And the Bantha thing is also next year.
They're
so it's
announcing
just like, what the heck?
the Winnie the Pooh Piglet bucket so early that it's still just like concept art 3D rendering. Whereas the other ones are actual like photos of the finished product.
I feel like I'm going to have to buy this for James because he loves Winnie the Pooh so much.
That can be your little Easter decoration for your house. I just noticed this as you were scrolling through. Yeah. The Bantha sipper. Do you see this? there's like openings here.
That looks
It's
like for
gonna
audio.
like
It's gonna make
roar or
noise.
something.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
It's going to go...
Yeah. Good old Banthas. But yeah.
Josh, I don't know where the straw goes. It probably comes out of his neck, I would assume.
I don't know. That's a great question. It might pop out of its back, like between its shoulders.
Maybe.
At the Destination D23 event, you guessed it, there was a panel called Beyond the Spires, an insider look at Disney castles. It went over some little-known facts about the Disney parks castles all over the world. In addition, the 5th episode of We Call It Imagineering will focus on the castles, which will debut on YouTube on September 8th. For all the fun facts and links, check out the link in our show notes.
So one of the facts that they had that was kind of cool, that's not Disneyland related, but was Hong Kong related, was when they transitioned Sleeping Beauty Castle in Hong Kong to the Castle of Magical Dreams.
Oh, yeah.
It was the first time that they prefabricated the sections and like lifted them into place. All other castles have not been built that way.
Really?
Yeah, so that was interesting. They talked about some stuff with like how they came up with the concept for the Disneyland Paris castle, which was really interesting. I was waiting for them to talk about Terry Hardin because they talked about the dragon.
Yeah.
But they did not talk about Terry Hardin. But I do believe they had a picture of Terry Hardin with the dragon,
Oh,
so
really?
that was kind of cool.
Neat.
I think so. It was definitely an Imagineer in its mouth. And I was like, I think that could be Terry Hardin. I'm just not sure. But anyway, super interesting tidbits and facts and talking about things like the crest.
Yeah, so the family crest is on all of the castles. That's the only thing that's like the same.
Yeah.
Or you know, that flows between all the castles. There was such cool stuff. I didn't get to watch the stream, but just looking at the Disney Parks blog thing, that was exactly what
The
I was about
snails.
to point out, was that like they even showed really cool details that you would never know are there, like the Paris castle, the Disneyland Paris castle, has tiny little golden snails like crawling up the gold spire.
So I don't know if it said in the article, but in the panel, the guy said that one of the fabricators or something was like, what do you think if we just put snails on it? And he's like, sure. And there's like no story element to it.
Yeah,
they're just there.
But it was just they explained that it was an idea to include a nod to French cuisine. Because escargot, right?
That's not what the Imagineer on the stage said, but maybe they just tweaked it for this. Also, they talked about cool things. So first of all, everybody knows at Disney World for the 25th anniversary that they turned their castle into a cake. Everybody has seen this. People either love it or hate it.
Did they go into like behind the scenes to explain that process at all?
No.
Dang.
But they said, here's some other things. So the Paris castle was done as like a strawberry cake for a little while.
That was the actual first cake castle, was the Paris castle.
See,
it was their 1 year anniversary.
Never knew that this was a thing.
No, I didn't either.
They talked about the process. So earlier this year, for the Stitch movie, they toilet papered Cinderella Castle.
Not this year. It was
for the Stitch movie. It was earlier this year.
I thought it was before.
And they talked about it. So the guy on stage said, you're not supposed to know about this. And so he was asking about it. And they said what it was it was cloth. It was cloth that they did. And they did it. The guy did concepts for it. And then he said 2 days later it was on the castle. Isn't that crazy?
Well, I mean, I guess it's just supposed to look a mess. So it's a quick.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. When was that then? 2004?
Yeah. I was going to say, I thought it was a while ago. I didn't think it was.
I'm wrong. They also had this concept they found of the Carousel of Progress that they were going to do a birthday cake for Disneyland's birthday or something, which they never did, but would have been hilarious.
Oh, according to this article, it was for Stitch's Great Escape, which was the attraction that took over the extraterrestrial alien encounter in Tomorrowland there. So that was, November 2004.
But I'll bet you a lot of these stories that we were just talking about will be up in the next We Call It Imagineering episode. We were just talking about this last week. We're glad that they're keeping the We Call It Imagineering in addition to all these other like Imagineering videos they've been putting out.
For sure.
We spoke previously about Hank, the longest standing cast member at the Walt Disney Company now. On August 27th, Hank received the Walt Disney Legacy Award, which celebrates the legacy of Walt Disney cast members that exhibit 3 legacy qualities: dream, create, and inspire. The Walt Disney Legacy Award is given to cast, crew, and Walt Disney Imagineers worldwide who have these qualities. Hank has been a cast member for the last 62 years, starting as a Jungle Cruise skipper in 1958. If the math doesn't add up on that, that's because Hank left Disneyland for a few years to be a Garden Grove firefighter before returning to Disneyland.
Did you say remembered this from the first time? He had started as a Jungle Cruise skipper.
Yep.
And yeah, he just looks like a very kind, very genuine, very caring person. And I think this is so great that they recognized him in this special way. So first he was recognized just, for his long tenure with the company. And now he also has this very prestigious, sought after award. And you have to be nominated by your peers. That's the other big thing about this award. It's not just the company can, go around. It's not like the Disney Legends Award where the company chooses who's getting this award. No, this is your peers are nominating you for this. So I feel like it's even more special.
Yeah. He's 92 years old, by the way. And
92 years young.
Yeah, but still working. I just want to see. Oh, yeah, there's his blue name tag.
Yeah.
So if you ever see people around the parks wearing a blue name tag, that is because they have gotten this Legends Award.
Very, very special. Well, fans
deserved too, I think.
Yes, for sure. Well deserved. Fans of the animated windows on Main Street have a new display to enjoy. A new Moana-themed window featuring Moana, Heihei, Pua, Maui, the Kakamora, and Te Fiti debuted this week. In the window, Moana is sailing her boat along the ocean with Te Fiti in the background while also being chased by the Kakamora. So I've only seen stills of this window. I really want to find video of it because the Kakamora were like in the stills down in there. So we should link a video
up.
too.
Yeah. In fact, there's one that comes out of the ceiling and swings back and forth as well.
It does feel like the new, I really, really enjoy the new Zootopia and now this new Moana window. It does feel like they decided to go a little bit more simplistic on the transitions. And I wonder if that's because they were having, issues with the other windows. Because there were a lot of different parts and pieces that were kind of coming and going and moving around. Mm-hmm. Oh, but look at Maui's fishhook lights up. Okay, maybe this is not as simplistic as I thought. It just looked a little more simple. Stationary.
Yeah, and if you wait a second, the video that we're watching here. So this guy's chilling and he comes down and is swinging around and then he goes back up into the ceiling.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see these in person.
I'm just glad that they have put some energy into this because it seemed like there was a time there where people weren't sure if they were going to continue to do this.
Yeah.
Because there was some that weren't working. So it's nice to see this stuff is coming around. I do like that his hook lights up and stuff too.
I'm curious to see it at night.
And there's a hey.
I'm
so happy. In the photos that we have linked to the show notes.
Little Pua's hanging on for dear life there.
I just want to be friends with Hey Hey. I want a Hey Hey character in the park that you can meet.
Oh, like a meet and greet Hey Hey.
That would be amazing. I don't know how they would do it, but that'd be amazing. With the Nightmare Before Christmas decking the halls over at the Haunted Mansion, Madame Leota is taking the opportunity to welcome Jack Skellington to her shop at the exit of the mansion. Outside, a stack of suitcases themed to Jack, Sally, and other Halloween Town residents welcomes guests. Inside, a blue banner hangs welcoming Jack and his friends.
I'm curious about this. If this is, you can see some merchandise in this photo that my chat shared of the trunks that is Nightmare Before Christmas theme. So I wonder if that's why they did the transition, was because there's going to be some Nightmare Before Christmas themed merch in Madame Leota's shop. And so to kind of explain why, or, I'm curious. I need more photos. I need a walkthrough or something to understand.
So, of course, David Fresh Baked was there.
David from Fresh Baked went in. Because it's not it's a nice looking little banner that they've got.
So it says Madame Leota welcomes Jack Skellington and all of his frightful friends and creepy companions. I don't think he saw in his video. I don't remember seeing the trunks. The trunks.
Maybe the trunks weren't in there yet. But yes, look, there is Nightmare Before Christmas themed merch in the shop now too.
Did that shop? That shop is still a shop, right? There was the restaurant and the shop.
The Curiosities shop.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a shop, and then it was a seating area for a moment, and then now it's back a shop again. I believe it's still a shop. I have not seen reports that it flipped back through a seating area. That's a great question, though.
Are we all? Yeah, we should be on the shop watch or something.
Yeah. So that's not the only new thing in that corner of the park. Press penny enthusiasts unite we will be happy because there is a new Winnie the Pooh press penny machine in Bayou Country. The new machine is outside of Pooh Corner along the walkway by the entrance of the shop. A penny is supplied for the machine and takes cash, card, and contactless payments.
Yeah, so I like this because on the thing it says touchscreen to begin. No penny, no worry. We supply the penny.
Well, it doesn't even look like you have an option to put your own penny in.
Yeah, it looks like you put cash in and that's it. Because
So-
you weren't bringing like...
I know. I am
pennies.
a crazy person that like keeps shiny pennies at hand so that when I come across a squashed penny machine or pressed penny machine, I have a good quality penny with me. So that makes me a little sad. Same thing. I also have quarters so that I have my quarters nearby so I can do my 51 cents. So I'm going to assume this is probably not 51 cents since you cannot put coin into it.
Have you...
Probably at least $1.
You haven't done this recently, though.
No, because they haven't gotten new ones in such a long time.
Oh.
So now...
Because you don't have all of them. You just have ones you like.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
I had all of them from Disneyland, that would be a lot.
Okay.
I mean, I have a lot from Disneyland, but no, nowhere near every single one they always had. So this is my 2 cents on this.
Okay.
There's been a lot of chatter online elsewhere about how long is Winnie the Pooh going to reside in Bayou Country. I feel like this is a good sign because why would they
put in a new thing.
put in a new pressed penny thing? I'm sure it's not the
Why do
world's most
people think he's
expensive
leaving?
thing. Because some people, the attraction could use some TLC, use some plussing, but also B, they feel like, does it make sense with the retheme to Bayou Country? If they would have kept it as Critter Country, then yes, easily makes sense. But Winnie the Pooh doesn't live in the bayou. So
Sure.
some people are like, are his days numbered? Maybe, maybe not. I feel like this is a sign saying not in the near future anyways.
You're going to laugh at me.
Okay.
James laughed at me because you're talking about theming and time frames fitting with things.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who I used to watch a lot of their YouTube videos, but I don't anymore. Not Tim Tracker. Braden from Mickey Views
Oh yeah.
posted an 1 and 7 minute long video about the changes of losing the Rivers of America in Magic Kingdom.
Oh, sure.
And like what it means and why it's bad. And he went through all of this detail and history and all this stuff and maps and plans, and it was very well done.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to the end of it, and James was around that time he was coming to bed, and I go, "Don't judge me." And he goes, "Why?" And I said, "Because I've watched this for like an hour now, and it's just not getting over." He's like, "This was an hour-long video." I said, "It was." I didn't expect to watch all of it. I thought I was going to watch like 5 minutes of it, but I watched the whole thing. But he's talking about how like Cars doesn't fit in with like how are you going to fit the bayou in Cars, and
Sure.
it's a whole thing.
Sure.
But I don't think Pooh's
yeah.
going anywhere.
I don't think Pooh's going anywhere.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Yoo-hoo! Hello, everybody! It's me, Heimlich. My stomach is so empty. Hey, help me to go find something to eat. Come on, everybody. Here we go.
Well, for this week in Snack Chat, we're actually venturing outside of the parks, and we've created kind of our own foodie guide because the Parkside Market area has all sorts of very fun, spooky, fall-themed treats and goodies galore that we wanted to let everyone know about.
I don't know how
Tank's real excited.
How do you want to handle this, I guess, is the whole thing. Are we just talking about what they have?
Yeah.
Okay, so at the Vista Parkside Market, so this is for what? This is for Halloween, basically?
Yeah.
Okay. So everything's available through October 31st from now, right? Like already?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So at the Vista Parkside Market, which is the bar upstairs, we have still not been to this location.
No, we
like
should
any of the
We
stuff.
should fix that on this
We should.
trip.
The first one is the Sleepy Hollow, which is Myers rum, Di Serrano Amaretto, lime juice, and a chai simple syrup and vanilla.
Ooh.
And you can add for $55 more a souvenir tree glass, which looks like a cool tree stump, haunted tree stump.
Yeah, it looks kind of like the spooky trees from Snow White Scary Adventure, or maybe a little bit of I'd say it's more Snow White Scary Adventure, not quite the Haunted Mansion spooky trees.
They have a Starry Night, which is a Garrison Brothers small batch bourbon, Earl Grey, Angostura, and orange bitters. And then they have the Raven, which is Tito's vodka, coffee liqueur, and a Sip and Sonder espresso. This one has a nice, Raven? The Raven, on top of it, like you'd get
some latte art
in a, like a latte. So pretty cool. These things look neat, actually. By the way, this drink, that is a green drink.
It is. It looks very like swamp watery.
Yeah.
Green.
Ew, swamp water. But yeah.
So they're also offering a Flocktail hour Monday through Thursdays from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. and then again at from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. So you can get some of their other creations. They've got the Flamboyance, which this is so cute because it's served in these adorable little pink flamingo glasses. It's the Flamboyance, which is frosé with rosé. You can also get frosé with a 0% rosé if you'd like NA. And then on the wing, it's Saint Elder Mum Sparkling Brut Rosé. You can also get sangria by the glass or duck beer. It's I understand why it's Take Flight, because it's a lot of feathered friends.
Yeah. Over at Sip and Sonder, you can get a spiced pumpkin latte, of course.
Yum.
A toasted marshmallow mocha. That sounds interesting.
Yum.
A poison apple cider, which has a spiced toffee crunch apple cider. Sounds interesting. And cinnamon rolls, which are maple pecan pralines and sweet potato marshmallow.
Yeah,
that sounds interesting.
It's two different types of cinnamon rolls, and they both sound really... I want to try all of these things. Okay, moving on. Soul Sister.
Not surprising me.
You can get the Dragon's Breath Bokiam, which is spicy pork belly and kimchi stir-fried rice, and the Blueberry Bubble Pop Lemonade, which doesn't have a description, but sounds very festive.
All this food looks really good. At Gigi's Chicken Shop, there's the Graveyard Dirt Pudding, which is chocolate pudding, Oreo crumbles, Mickey Mouse sprinkles, gummy worms, and a tombstone cookie.
Dang, I need to get Mickey Mouse sprinkles for my house. That just sounds like it would make everything better. All desserts would just be better if they had Mickey Mouse sprinkles.
That's a lot of stuff that they had.
That's a lot of stuff. And you can get some sweet, some savory, some boozy, some not boozy, some caffeinated.
Something for everyone.
Something for everyone. All sorts of delicious eats. So if the foodie guide in the parks and the hotels was not enough, there's still more delicious Halloween fall items to try.
Well, if you could get 10% off of your support of the podcast and only have to pay once a year instead of monthly, would that be enough to make the final push to become an official weekly tier and get some great perks as well? Well, if so, we are offering just that. Head on over to DLWeekly.net/support to sign up or convert your existing support level to that now if you'd like to.
Mm-hmm.
Your attention, please. DL Weekly Trivia is now leaving for a Grand Circle tour of the Magic Kingdom, with stops at New Orleans Square, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland. All weekly tiers for...
Welcome to Trivia Land, where we have some awesome listener-submitted questions and a question that popped into my head, because that happens sometimes. But that'll be the bonus question, so I think you know it.
Okay.
So, let's see how you do. You ready?
Yes.
You feeling good? You got some great knowledge in your heads?
We'll see.
I don't know if we have this specific knowledge you're going to ask us about, but we do have good knowledge in our heads.
Okay, well, let's see which knowledge you have then. Your first listener-submitted question from listener Sean D. There is a crest above the entrance to Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. What are the two mottos on said crest?
Oh, no.
You know what's funny? In my brain, I'm pretty sure I have this knowledge. Isn't it like...
The only thing I can remember is, nowhere in particular is where, the road signs are.
Yep.
I don't remember. I'm, I recognize that there is a crest there.
I think it has something to do with like adventure and like hitting the road or something like that.
Do you think it has to do with the road? Because that's just because it's like Toad Hall is his ancestral home.
So you think it's his ancestral like shield, like crest?
Yeah, like his family crest.
But
Not
then what would it
necessarily
be?
him being amused with the motor car.
I don't know. This
I may
is
give
not
you
the
a
knowledge.
hint.
Yeah.
It's fake Latin.
It's fake Latin.
So it's not like Semper or something, is it?
There is actually a real semper, but the word after it might actually be real Latin,
Yeah,
but I don't think so.
Because for the, I think is it the Marines? The Marines say Semper Fi, which is like,
Which is real Latin.
yeah, Semper.
Oh.
I told you in my brain there was a tickle Semper, so I have one word.
Oh, okay. Nope. The Latin phrase is actual Latin.
Okay. Now I was feeling hopeful that maybe we could
put me down for like a quarter of a point with Semper.
Okay.
I want to say it's like Semper. I know it's not this word, but my brain keeps thinking
It's
Tyrannus, but it's not Tyrannus.
No.
Semper.
I don't know enough Latin to even throw a guess out there. Because the only Semper thing I know is
Semper Fi.
Yeah. Mhm. Semper.
So we're going semper something?
Yep.
Semper something.
Okay.
Which I don't even know if it's an answer because you already told us Semper's in it.
Well, he didn't
That's
tell us. He
sad.
just went, "Oh, that is a word." So
I
No,
said
no, he said
semper is
semper.
Latin, and I said there's real Latin in one of the phrases.
Oh, I thought you said that Semper was part of it.
I'm just going to say Semper
I
something.
may have. I confuse even myself.
That's okay.
Anyways, moving on. Hopefully we
Okay,
have
so
better.
we're
luck.
giving up on the other phrase, and we know that one
Yeah.
phrase might have semper in it.
Yeah.
All right.
Semper Adventure is out there. Oh,
Okay.
wait, wrong movie.
All right. Your second listener submitted question from listener Shanna D. When DCA opened in 2001, what show was playing in the Hyperion Theater, and how long did it run for?
Oh no.
Before what?
DCA Hyperion Theater when it first opened. What was the show? It was not Aladdin.
It was not Steps in Time.
No.
Because I think we had a question like this before, and I said Steps in Time, but somebody said no, it was something else.
Because it was what? You said like a year?
He was asking how
I
long.
asked
it
how
ran
long
for.
did it
Oh,
run?
you asked how long.
See, I thought it was. I know it's probably wrong, but all
Those
I
are
can
the
remember
only
was Steps
two-
in Time.
Those are the only two I know of prior to Frozen and then.
So I'm going to say Steps in
Avengers
Time,
one
and
was.
I think it ran for like 10 months or something.
I'm going to go with that too because our friend Ace worked in DCA and he worked at the theater and he worked at the theater for Steps in Time and then Aladdin.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with that.
I'm sorry, you're saying it's...
Are we sure? Maybe there was something that was more California focused prior to Steps in Time.
I'm trying to figure out, like, I think there was a show that was musical, like they did drums and like music
Sure.
stuff. I feel like I remember seeing a video of like them doing like drums in the air, like they were like repelled
Hanging.
from the ceiling or hanging
Yeah.
from the ceiling or something. But my brain mushes that with Steps in Time.
I don't know.
But Steps in Time was like Disney music.
Mhm.
But I think you're right that it was just like regular
Something
music.
more California. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, for me, the first show I saw was
Aladdin? Yeah.
So I'm like
Well, it was the best show.
not very helpful on this.
Was it day one or was it day two of the Destination D23 thing that had the Broadway stuff? Was that day one or day two?
I don't remember.
Oh, because they had the original Genie from the
Yeah.
Australia Broadway
from
show.
Australia.
And they had the new Lumiere from the new tour of Beauty and the Beast. And he did tap dancing.
There you go. Well, that's not the answer we're looking for.
Probably,
And
but
we probably don't have the other answer as Steps in Time is correct. But that's what we're going with.
yeah. 10
So-
months, though. I'm going to say 10 months.
So you're going with Steps in
Oh, we
Time
had to
for
do
10 months?
How long?
Yeah, because he said in how long.
Oh,
So I'm going to say
dang.
10 months. What are you saying?
I don't know. I'm going to say 15 or some weird number.
15?
Yeah, I'm going to go with 15.
So that was Steps in Time for 10 months and 15 months?
Yes.
Final answer.
Actually, I'm shifting mine to 18.
18 months.
Yep. I don't know why, but I
Okay,
am.
So Steps in Time, 8 months and 18 months.
10 months and 18
10
months.
and 18.
10 months, 18 months,
Yep.
steps in time. Final answers.
See, if we just
Final.
confuse Vern enough,
Yeah.
he won't know what we got
I'll
right
just
or wrong.
write down anything.
Maybe 8 months is the answer because he did say that and neither of us said that.
That's true.
Or I'm just looking at the scribbled out 8 on your 18
Okay,
that
fine.
came from a 15. Okay. Your third question from listener Shelley E. Where is the Lily Pod Lounge located in Disneyland?
The what? The Lily Pod
Oh, this is
Or Lily Pond. Sorry.
Pond. The
This
Lily
is
Bad
Pond
pronunciation there.
Lounge?
this is probably in the
It's got to be in in the Raised Berets.
yeah, no. Oh. It could be, but it could also be
yes,
in
yeah, it's in the new one. It's in the critter. What is the critter shop?
Lewis's Critter
Lewis's
Corner.
Critter Corner.
Thank you.
We got there.
So you're saying it's in Lewis's Critter Corner?
Lewis's Critter Corner.
All right, final answer.
Yeah. You're probably
So-
right with Raised Braves, though. After all
All
this.
right.
And that's in, I guess, Bayou Country.
Yeah.
And your fourth and final regular round question from listener Page N. How many people visited Disneyland in 1966?
Oh, boy.
Why is that a specific thing?
You'll find out when you find out the answer.
Oh, Lord.
That 1966
66.
was
How
it
many-
66 million?
No. It's not that many.
6.6
Wait.
million?
Because you're saying that year.
That year.
Oh,
Not like
1966.
cumulative to that year, just that year.
Specifically, 1966.
Okay.
How many people visited Disneyland?
I don't
And there's
know.
reasons why we want to know about 1966.
Okay.
The
I'm gonna say
11-year
6.6.
anniversary, baby.
Wow.
What did you say?
Because who doesn't get excited about 11 years?
Oh. I'm going to say 6.6 mil. Because I don't know why it would be unique to that year specifically, so.
Sure, why not?
6.6 million?
Sure.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Alrighty. And your bonus question from me, because I found myself in a hole and had to dig myself out of it. Based on the Rite of Spring segment of Fantasia, a segment of the Disney Railroad features a diorama of dinosaurs. What is the actual name for this part of the attraction?
The what do you mean?
The Primeval World. Like, what's the name of that section?
Because it's the Grand Canyon diorama in the Primeval World.
Yeah, Primeval World.
Primeval World?
Yeah.
Is that your final answer on your bonus question?
Yeah, because that came from... So I learned this reading my Imagineering storybook.
You know what's interesting? So we have the Grand Canyon diorama.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other part called?
The Primeval World.
But you just said the whole thing's called the Primeval World.
No, like the... So there's two parts.
Yeah.
There's the Grand Canyon.
Mhm.
That's one building.
Yeah.
And then you go into the other building, and that's the Primeval World.
I thought you
Because
just said...
no. Because the Primeval World is from the World's Fair.
Yeah.
Grand Canyon was added like later.
Yeah. Can you ask the question again, Vern? Because now you've confused me. I thought Vern's
Based
question
on
was...
the Rite of Spring segment of Fantasia, a segment of the Disneyland Railroad features a diorama of dinosaurs. What is the actual name for this part of the attraction?
Oh, I got myself stuck. I thought we were talking about the Grand Canyon
No,
portion or
Primeval
the
World.
entire portion.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where I got myself confused. Okay.
I can't even recite the like transitional like narration where it's like, well, that's as you see it today, but now we'll travel back, way back to the time of the dinosaurs. Dun! And then you had the creepy
Yeah.
thing that's lit up.
So, Teresa, you're going to be a part of his world?
I don't know why, but that just gave me the ick.
Wow.
I already put that down for me. I got confused because I thought you were talking about what the Grand Canyon portion was called or what the entirety of the Grand Canyon plus the dinosaurs part was called. And I thought you were saying the entirety was called the Primeval World. I'm like, well, then what is the dinosaurs called? 'Cause that's what I thought they were called. Got it. I've caught up. I was behind. I was still at the Tomorrowland station.
You were in the caboose.
Got left behind at the station. I was just a little lost.
You were in the Lily Bell, spacing out.
Yeah. Darn.
Okay.
Darn.
So we're in agreement.
All the fumes from the Autopia.
Oh gosh.
But you agree it's
yes.
Okay, all right.
That's why I asked him, like, when we were talking, and I'm like, you need to say that question again, because now I've got myself very confused.
Okay. Well, listeners, how did you do listening at home? How do you think Tig and Teresa did? If you stick around until after the discussion topic, we can all find out together.
This week for our discussion topic, we are speaking again with David Sparks about Disneyland Rucking. Enjoy.
So let's shift to Batuu and kind of talk about the galaxy far,
folks.
far away. Yes.
Buckle in.
I am curious, since you are such like a fan of the area, what are your thoughts on timeline? Do you like that it was developed to be kind of its own separate thing, or do you wish they would open it up to the full Star Wars timeline?
I mean, I wish they'd open it up. I mean, it's like they have Luke there for a brief period, and I have missed him every time I've gone. And I told one of my best friends, like, if I bump into Luke, I may just like well up. I'm not sure, because Luke is so special to me, and I think that they should all be there. And I really hope that eventually happens. Like, I mean, if they really want to get hung up on it, then just have like the prequel characters out in the afternoon and the original trilogy in the morning, or whatever, or just mix them up. My opinion is that Star Wars fans would not care if people who weren't supposed to be around at the same time, they just want to see the characters.
Yeah.
And non-Star Wars fans wouldn't even know. So, yeah, I feel like I actually feel strongly that they should open it up and bring more characters in. Don't be afraid. It's okay.
We saw Luke. We didn't even realize that we saw Luke the last time we were there. We were getting photos done with a PhotoPass photographer in the marketplace.
Yeah.
And like Luke blended in with the crowd so well. I don't think anyone else realized he was making his way through.
Just wandering through.
It was neat, and I appreciate that about Batuu, how the characters just live in the land, and it's not kind of, okay, we're gonna stand here, form a line over here, like that sort of a thing. How it's more organic feeling.
I would love to see, like, there's so many great spots in there to like park somebody. Like, you could have a Grogu puppet, like, in an area, like, you could have, there's just so much you could do. I'd love to see like 5 times the number of droids.
Yes.
I was there, like, often I still go, like, if you can get a table there in the shade and sit there and just get a Ronto wrap and sit there for a couple hours and journal or whatever. It's just so wonderful. But that is the path that R2 comes through when he's there. And you just watch how happy the guests are to see R2. Buddy, like, within, a 50-foot is smiling. And, like, I don't know if you guys saw when they Imagineering brought over those other little
Yeah.
The little BDX droids.
Yeah. So have you guys seen the new thing they do at night in Batuu? The new thing.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
Yes. Was it like something Skywalker? Oh,
yeah.
What is it?
It's like a Skywalker story against the Spires through the most advanced use of projection mapping I've ever seen. I mean, like, they make it look like the Spires are hollow. I don't even know how
amazing.
Yes. Like, even see Shadows of a Memory, a Skywalker saga. That's the full title. Even seeing that effect on, like, people that had filmed it that then posted online, it still looked so good, even just from like a YouTube video of it. So when we got to see it in person, I was just
you
like,
gotta go see that next time you're out there.
This is crazy.
We do need to see it again, though, because I don't know what happened, but about halfway through our showing of it, the area lights had came back on, but the show continued to play. So I was like, this doesn't seem right.
No, that's not right. I mean, it's really fascinating. And like it's like at one point a laser runs across the projection mapping, but then you actually see lighting on the stage, like where it would land. I mean, it just, it's like, I think it's the highest iteration of that kind of, and of course it's Star Wars. So it's just really great.
They do some great stuff with projections. As a Disneyland fan, this is a good question for you because I have opinions about this. What do you feel about them using projections so much now and kind of steering away from the fireworks?
Well, I mean, I don't really see it that way. I feel like, because so often with the wind conditions, you can't run a fireworks show. So I feel like all the money they put into the projection gives you a second, like sometimes, it used to be like, hey, we're sorry it's too windy, we can't do the show. And now it's like, well, we'll do the projection, even though we can't do the fireworks. And the same thing, because it's so close to residential housing, right? During the school year, you can't do the fireworks, but you can still give them a show when you can't do the fireworks. So I feel like it's fine when they do the fireworks. I don't, maybe they are doing less fireworks. I don't know. I haven't really looked at it that closely, but it seems like when they do the fireworks, they're still pretty good.
Yeah. Have you seen, since we were talking about Batu and the projection show, have you seen the iteration of the fireworks show in Batu?
Yeah. I mean, think about that for a second. Like, so you have usually when you do a fireworks show, you pick the music and then you pick the fireworks to match it, right? Somebody in live entertainment had to figure out, like, no, this is the show I have, right?
Yeah.
And like at 2 minutes and 38 seconds, there's a bunch of red ones. So we got to figure out how to get like Darth Vader music at that point, right? And I don't know, I'm just very impressed by that somebody figured that out.
It's like, I feel like it's like you're doing a puzzle backwards almost, right? Like you've got the pieces, you don't know what your picture is going to look like until you flip it over. But yeah, it's very impressive, especially when you think of it that way, that they just kind of, I don't want to say it was an afterthought because that makes it sound like it's less, but it was just something that they did. They didn't build that show based on what they did. So it's even more impressive. But with the projections, though, there's some of the projection shows that they've put out that even during the weekdays, during the school year, when they don't have fireworks, they have up to their game so much that you don't even necessarily miss or realize that there aren't fireworks. Because like Mickey's Mix Magic, they have all sorts of like lasers and like spotlights and all sorts of, there's still all sorts of like lights and stuff in the sky in addition to the, projections on the buildings. So it's just so interesting how they can kind of still create that feel without actually having like the fireworks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just hoping that eventually they'll find a way to bring drones to Disneyland because the stuff in Paris is just amazing.
I agree. My wife and I, for our 30th wedding anniversary, went to Paris Disneyland, and that drone show was just floored me.
Well, so I was fortunate enough, I was able to go to Disneyland Paris for their 20th anniversary in 2012. I went there, and that's when they first did like their big Disney Dreams castle show that had like, fountains like World of Color and projections on the castle and all of this stuff. And I think that was the first park that really did projections on the castle. And then that kind of made it to the United States. And now they're doing drones over there. So I'm thinking, I feel the Disneyland Paris is kind of like a testing ground for them to be able to bring stuff. So fingers crossed, I guess.
Well, and French people are very into entertainment. I mean, I feel like some of the best entertainment, live entertainment, is in Paris Disneyland. I keep wanting to call it Euro Disney because I grew up with it. So like
the original.
When we were there, we went and saw the Lion King show they do there, and it was like Broadway caliber,
Definitely.
And I feel like they really are fortunate there to have some great live entertainment.
Yeah, they had a street show / parade when we went there. Let's see, James and I went there in like, was that 2 years ago now? Something like that? 3 years ago?
2 summers ago, yep.
And man, that was an amazing entertainment. So you saying that it's because the Parisian people love entertainment, it shows.
So, David, since you have a passion for technology and stuff, what are your thoughts of how technology's kind of progressed and how it's moved forward things in the park, whether that be in attractions or we've already kind of talked about nighttime spectaculars, but what's that like for you being someone that's kind of more in the know about how some of this stuff works versus somebody like me? Oh, yeah, I was going to say versus someone, the average guest that may have no idea how this magic's being made.
Yeah, I think there's a line to be drawn there. Like, I would like more, but I think the stuff I would like would probably be too hard for a lot of people. And like even like the stuff in Batu, I think is fun, but I would like to see it go to another level. And
Sure.
But I think that's probably a bias of my own.
So if budget were no issue and you were in charge, what would you do?
Oh man, that is a great question. Well, if budget were no issue, I would have little Ewoks running around in the restaurant trying to steal your food. I would have a lot more droids and maybe interactive stuff like, truly allowing you to become part of the story. But the problem with that is honestly the guests. Like I dress up when I go to Batu, but almost nobody else does, But I don't know if it's a chicken and the egg thing. Maybe if they had more interaction there, maybe more people would. Yeah, that's a good question.
Did you ever get... Oh, go ahead.
I said, if somebody put me in charge of, like, if they give me Bob Iger's job, things would get awesome, but they'd probably fire me within a week.
He's spending too much money.
That's most fans, I think, put in charge. Because there's a balance. But did you ever get to experience, or what, like, and even if you didn't get to experience it, like, what are your thoughts about the Star Cruiser experiment, I guess we'll call it?
Yeah, I just didn't even do it. It just didn't seem attractive to me. Like, it reminded me too much of Star Trek, And the other thing is I don't really understand. Well, actually, I understand they wanted to create a new experience, but I wish there was more inclusion of classic characters. Because, like, if I'm going to go to Star Wars, I want, I'd much rather be hanging out with Luke on the Falcon than some character I've never heard of on a luxury liner. But I think I like that they took the swing, but I think it wasn't quite, right.
Yeah. And there's a couple of things that if you like look at the whole, what was it, would they have changed, if they changed this, if they did that. Part of it, I think it was price. Cause it was a very high price point. And especially if it's not something you're sure you're going to enjoy, then that's even harder to justify that price point. But yeah, that would have been great if they could have, even if sometimes maybe had different, I don't know, excursions or different experiences. So you could do something that was new and unique, like you're living in the world, or it could be something where you're stepping in with the classic characters and living in the movies more so of just living in, the supposed universe.
I hate that it's collecting dust over there. I feel like
I know.
Like, could they make it where it was like a dinner show? You could like be staying at some other resort and go over and have dinner there in Star Wars. Or I don't know. I do kind of hate how that.
Or maybe just turn it into a more traditional hotel that's just very themed.
Yeah.
I feel like people probably worked really hard on it, but it just, and it's strange to me, like just the overall vibe of it felt too luxury, not Star Wars enough.
Sure.
And like it's presumably the same team that made Batu, which is perfect in terms of theming. And I don't know how it there's just the dichotomy between the two of them is just odd to me.
You're right, because like one of the things that I think is kind of a hallmark of Star Wars is the fact that it has that lived in feel.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I mean, the Star Cruiser did kind of have that polished, prequels kind of feel, the Star Trek kind of feel of like everything was just too clean. Like that's not the world of Star Wars unless you're in the Empire. Then everything's.
But even that's a very unique design. I mean, George Lucas, I think, called it the used universe, when he first was giving guidance to his people when they made it. And so it never really called out to me, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So
I'd rather take my wife to Hawaii if I was going to spend that much money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I want to talk about like the lived in feel. I will never forget the first time we experienced Batu and walked in. We were in line for Smuggler's Run, and I just remember standing there staring at like the handrails and the walls, and I'm like, I know in my brain that this is brand new, but they have done such a good job to make it look like it's been here for so long, and like look, they made they put the paint on to then chip it off of here, and they did like all of this. The amount of details to age that place was just blowing my brain, like just blowing my mind. But there's just something about it.
The handrails is a good one. Like in the queue area of the handrail where they have the ship repair in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you look at it, it looks like there was a column that went from floor to ceiling, and then someone later retroactively had to put handrails in, and it looks like they just roughly cut the column away. Like they had to retrofit it. And like there's all sorts of little things in there where it looks like there are layers to the construction when it was all built at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just like, that is the kind of stuff that just like makes me so happy when I see that someone took the time to do that. And you're right. I mean, it entirely feels lived in. And I guess that's why we all whine and complain so much about them getting more droids and characters, because it's like, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Just give us the lifeblood of it. Give us the characters.
Well, even stuff like there's like the, I don't know, different walkways that are like elevated and like the almost bridge looking place. And like, I would love to see someone just every 10 minutes, they just walk across that or, whatever to make it
and
feel
I feel like
more
that is so like we're so close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Throw some money at that and put some people up there. Like when it first opened, I took a bunch of pictures of it and I made a Instagram account.
Oh yeah.
Called Batu Rebel. Oh. And I would write little stories about like something that had happened. Like, there'd be like, I did one on the droid up in Doc Ondor's that had been shot. And I told the story of the day it got shot. And then like, I would just like make up little stories. And there was never a person in it. I told it from the vantage point of a rebel that lived there. And he would take pictures when things would happen.
Oh, that's fun.
And I haven't updated it in like years, but because, COVID happened and I kind of got off the train, but it was really fun writing little like in-universe stories. I don't know if you guys can find it.
Is it Batu_Rebel?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah.
That's so
here's like
fun.
a little story about the Jedi who's the statue that's outside of the Doc Ondars, and there's a little story with it.
Oh, that was another thing.
Yeah,
with,
I should.
The lived-in. We happened to be there one day when they were refurbing her, and we saw they were painting one color, and we're like, "Oh, why are they painting this color?" It was the undercoat. And then the next day we went by, and we're like, "Look, now it looks tarnished again." That's
Can't
crazy.
even tell. Yeah.
Yeah.
How fun.
Yeah, I should do some more of that. That was really fun, just as a kind of a creative outlet.
Yeah. And I mean, why not? These things are begging for story. Like, there's stories here, but there's not any stories really being told currently by Disney or by, characters in the land about the things. But yeah, you just have to wonder.
Yeah. So one of the things that you sent us a photo of this. How did you go about creating your Batu look?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I went before it opened up, and they announced the costumes because they had like a big reveal of the Batu costumes. And I looked at it, I'm like, that looks like REI to me. And so, do you guys have REI back
yes,
then?
Yes.
I don't know. Do you guys have it back there? Yeah. So I just went into REI and I bought stuff that looked like it. And I just started adding patches and things like that. And like, scraps of leather, things like that.
Yeah.
It's like right now I'm in the process. Like I took my Disney Magic Band and I pulled it apart. And now I'm sewing together like a leather pouch for it, and then I'm going to use like leather straps to make my own kind of Batu strap for my Magic Band. Like, so I'm always kind of like thinking like that. Like it's fun to dress up, and it's very easy to put on Jedi robes, but like I don't want to just put on Jedi robes. I want to come in like with a guy with a story.
Yeah,
but it's a lot of it's REI gear that I've just kind of repurposed and patched up and kind of like worn out in parts.
Yeah.
But there's just almost nobody doing that anymore.
I've always was curious when I've seen people dress up like this or, get into a character. Do guests ever confuse you for a cast member?
All the time.
Okay.
When I dress like that, I get asked where the bathrooms are and Batu constantly. And I just tell them, I don't like, what are you going to do? I mean, and especially like when I was going around, because I have a fancy camera. And when I was going around taking pictures for that Batu Rebel thing, people would say, "Oh, can you take our picture?" I'm like, I'm not an employee.
Yeah, you're like, I mean, I can, but I can't give it to you.
Yeah. It's not going to scan onto your Magic Band.
It's not going to show on your app later. That's too funny.
One of the other things you mentioned in your email to us when we were setting up the interview was this thing that you do about getting like exercise around the resort. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that is my latest thing with Disneyland. And there is, I don't know if have you guys ever heard the term rucking?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rucking. So it's like, it's a military thing, you know, where you fill a pack with a bunch of weight and then you go on a long hike. And now recreational people are doing it. Like they sell special backpacks and special weights you can load them up with. And a good friend of mine and I were talking about trying to get more fit. And we both love Disneyland. So we said, what if we did Disney Rucking? And so we meet there we get there early in the morning. A fun story for locals is like, they don't start allowing you into the parking till 7 a.m. But if you get there early, you can kind of line up in the structure. And then at 7 a.m. when the cast members come out, everybody honks. It's kind of fun, you know. And
that's neat.
So we get there like 6:45, you know, so we're early in line. Some of the very first people to get parked. We meet up. There's a little umbrella outside the parking structure. We meet up there usually at 7 or close to it. And we take the longest possible route throughout the entire resort. We walk the entire resort. We walk through the hotel. We walk through downtown. We walk through. When we go in Disneyland, it's very fun to go in Disneyland and walk every path. And so like we start up, and sometimes I just do it by myself if she's not available, but we go all the way up, you know, through the castle, back all the way to the tail end of Toontown. Then I come back down and I do a bunch of loops around Tomorrowland and Fantasyland. And like you do a bunch of loops. And then I always end up in Batu by the Falcon. That's my final destination. And you get like 5 or 6, depending on how you do it, you can get up to 7 miles to make that walk. And bring a backpack and I fill it with more of the stuff I need. I put books in there. And so I don't actually buy weights for it, but I put books and I'll put my laptop in there. And so if we start at 7 prompt, usually around 10 to 11, depending on how long you make the walk, you end up in Batu, you get yourself a Ronto wrap, you sit and enjoy the Falcon. And then if you've got a busy day, you can just head home or you can stay and enjoy Disney a little bit, but you get a great amount of exercise. And something I've discovered is like opening the park, the cast members are so happy. It's so fun. Like the park is relatively empty when it first opens. And I call it Disney Rucking. And a friend of mine have been doing it now regularly. And we're starting to get some more people to do it. Maybe at some point I'll go public with it. I think it'd be fun to do it with like 50 people.
There you go. Yeah.
It's really a kind of a fun way to start and, you know, take advantage of your Magic Pass, or actually what they call them now, the
Magic
key holder.
keys. Yep.
Magic key. I should know. I should know the lingo, but to me, they're still annual passes. Yeah. But yeah, take advantage of it. Go in and then just enjoy the park and just kind of walk the whole thing, and keeps you up to date on the resort. It's just fun.
So you do you get the 5 to 7 miles in. Is it just like downtown Disney hotels and Disneyland, or do you include DCA with your walk loops?
That's the problem. You pick a park and you can't go over to DCA till 11.
That's true.
That's the way it works.
So you'd have to do lots of laps in one.
Yeah. So like if you're feeling really rambunctious and it's not too hot, after you have your break in Batu, it's about time to head over to DCA and do the long loop back to the car. So it just depends on how you're feeling that day. But we did it kind of as a whim, but it's really kind of fun. Yeah. I have another thing I've tried. My wife and I were doing a thing called the DLR Field Guide. It was like Disneyland Resort Field Guide. We did a couple of YouTube videos, and then she got kind of promoted to a point where she really can't be involved with stuff like that. But I think I'm going to bring it back with just me. And I think I'm going to like talk about this rucking thing because it actually is. So I can share the route and stuff, but it's actually a lot of fun. If you have a pass and you're looking for an excuse, like, I mean, a lot of people, like we were saying earlier, go to Disneyland rarely. And when they go, it's all about hitting all the rides. But if you go there frequently, you're actually looking for fun things to do. And this is a great way to get some exercise and kind of see the whole park.
I think I would exercise more if I lived close enough to Disneyland to do something like this.
Oh, yeah. I was just thinking you could, justify the cost of your pass a little more because now it's also your gym membership.
Yeah.
And not just a theme park pass.
Yeah.
I mean, you get a workout. If you fill a bag with some stuff and walk everything, you get a workout.
I believe it.
But
I don't.
You do stop. We have a rule. You do stop for pictures with characters. Like when I went to... last time I did it, I went up to Toontown. That's kind of the first leg I do. Mm-hmm. And I got up there, and Mickey was like chasing the ducks because nobody was there.
You're going to have like little extra like side quests of like, oh, I got 10 character photos today while I was doing this. That's a new record.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Whatever.
I love that.
One character photo for every mile that you walk in the park. There you go. So, as somebody who is a legacy fan, as you call yourself, loving Walt Disney as much as you do and growing up with the parks and everything, I feel like it would be a disservice not to ask you what you feel about the Walt Disney animatronic and if you've seen it yet.
Well, in the show.
Show. Yeah, no. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I've seen it a few times, and I love that they did it. Because, I don't think people appreciate, I think in one of the pre-show things, they talk about how he, cashed in his life insurance to make Disneyland happen. It was deeper than that because the board did not support him. They thought it was crazy. And I have this pet theory that Walt just wanted a life-size train. That's the reason Disneyland exists. I mean, if you look into the history, he was really into trains, and this gave him a chance to make. But he had to he personally paid for the original train. It wasn't owned by the company because there wasn't money for it, and they sold their second home, their ranch. He mortgaged his own home. I mean, Walt Disney did this repeatedly through his life where he believed in something so much that he put his neck on the line for it.
Yeah.
And he had some early bankruptcies where it didn't work out, but in his, through the whole run of everything he did, it's you don't see that now. Like everybody now talks about, Steve Jobs or, all these people who do this great stuff, but those guys, Steve Jobs didn't say, I believe in the iPhone so much that I'm going to mortgage my house to make,
right.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is something. And I know Walt has, we all have, if any of us had as examinative a life as Walt did, we would have things that would be embarrassing. I don't like the way he dealt with labor and, that whole thing with the anti-communist stuff. But overall, I have so much respect for, he had the vision and the guts to go out and bet everything to make this stuff happen. So I am so pleased that they made it. I think that from the neck down, the animatronic is great.
Yeah. From
the neck up, I feel like I feel like probably what they did, I mean, I wasn't in the room, but I feel like what they did is we want to make it as lifelike as possible. So they've got all the motors for all the different parts of the face. I don't know. I have no knowledge of whether it's true or not, but I feel like maybe there's so much in there that the face doesn't have the right shape.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I was in there over the weekend and I sat up close to it and I said, even the neck is kind of thick. And I feel like, well, it kind of looks like a linebacker in his neck. And I was thinking, well, that's probably because there's probably so much stuff underneath there to drive all those little motors. So I feel like it's a great first attempt. I love that it's there. I hope they continue to refine the face in particular because I feel like the line should have been well, first of all, the face has to really look like him. I mean, the face looks like Abe Lincoln, and that's cool, and maybe it's not as advanced as Walt's face, but even when you look at it immediately, you're like Abe Lincoln, whereas the Walt one, the first time I looked at it, I'm like, what? Just there was a moment of especially because you just watch a video with all this video of him, as, as the actual Walt. So what he looks like, and it doesn't quite I feel like the face needs work, but like Walt said, it's never done, so hopefully, over time that gets better. But I mean, I have a lot of respect for those Imagineers that did it because I feel like that is a tough mission.
Yes.
We're going to make Walt, it's wow.
And being so close to that seeing all the, I don't know, the ups and downs of the project and knowing the pressure that was on them from external, but then I'm sure there was also just a lot of pressure they were putting on themselves to try and make it as perfect as they possibly could. That had to have been a very stressful thing to do.
Yeah.
I just think that it's really great. We try and look at it from taking a step back. Cause you're right. The animatronic isn't 100% and it's the face that needs it, but it's just so cool to be in that room and hearing some of the stuff that us big, deep Disney fans know. And maybe, you're sitting there and you're having someone else learn about who this person was. And how many, we've talked about this, how many children don't know that Walt Disney was a person and not just the name of the company that they enjoy movies from, and stuff like that. So it's good to kind of bring, bring that to the forefront again.
Yeah. And I've been in Walt's office, and he actually had two offices. He has the front room is like a formal office. And then he had a back working office, and the set they made is kind of a combination of both of them. But all of that feels super genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I suspect, it's like it's easy to judge the final product, but the process is very difficult. And they didn't, when they designed it, I'm not sure they could really know how it was going to look at the end until they get to a certain point. So I don't know. I just feel like I have faith that it's going to get better, and I'm super happy that it exists.
Yeah.
Me too. Did you find yourself, I just feel like this is a new question that I want to ask everybody who's experienced it, because I feel kind of insane in some way, that there's a couple times, and people who have seen it, I don't want to spoil it necessarily for people, but there's a couple times in the performance of the animatronic that you kind of forget that it's an animatronic. There's some movement that's very oh. And then a second later, you're like, that was an animatronic. Okay.
At one moment, he takes a step forward, and for a minute, I'm like, is he going to walk? I mean, you just your brain just short circuits for a minute, when that happens. The thing that was weird for me is I have watched all of the Walt Disney interviews, and I've seen, we have the movies, we know about the Sherman brother feud. We know it's all this stuff we really get into it. So every quote in there, I say, I know when he said that, at one point when he's talking about, the idea for Disneyland, he gave that interview while sitting in front of his desk. So there's a bit of a disconnect for me hearing the words come out of his mouth while he's standing, when I know that he's supposed to be sitting down when he says this. It's just that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a little off-putting for me, but I am not the typical audience. Like you said, I think so many people are going to go in there and kind of get connected to this guy who, through force of will, made something that so many people enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a long time ago, it feels like at this point, we talked to former Imagineer Terry Hardin, and she talked about the fact that Disneyland, it's not a museum. It should always upgrade and change. And one of the things that she talked about with this was the fact that there's stuff at the park that Walt touched, that Walt had influence on. And if you take those things away, there's never putting them back, because Walt's gone, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I feel like this Walt animatronic is the first time they've added something Walt back. It wasn't him, but it's him in a kind of weird way. And I think that's really important, because I feel like if there's anywhere that's going to have Walt represented, it's Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was the first building they made in the park when they built it. That whole structure was the wood shop when they started. They built Disneyland out of that building, and before it became a theater and all the future kind of stuff they had in it. So it also feels kind of momentous to me, that Walt was in these walls a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very true. I feel like you had mentioned this, and now you just provided the perfect segue. You mentioned this back in your intro, your Disney story, that your father had kind of a unique connection to the parks with his business. So do you have any stories or know any specifics about your dad being a contractor and kind of helping with the lumber supply with some of the projects?
Yeah, there were two funny stories he told me. And a third, and I can't remember if the third one was Knott's Berry Farm or Disneyland. But there was one where he told me where they built a building, and I think it was in Critter Country. It was going to hold air conditioning, but they didn't realize that the equipment was bigger than the door, and they had to take the roof off afterwards. That was kind of a funny story. But I'm not sure. As I was thinking coming today, then I got thinking that might have been Knott's Berry Farm because the guy did stuff out there too. But But the two stories that he told me that he loved to tell, the first one was in New Orleans because my dad wasn't a fancy guy. He worked for a company that sold the lumber. He was just the salesman, but he was very gregarious and friends with this contractor. And when they built New Orleans, he told me that they had finished it. And this wasn't related to his work, but he heard it through his friend, the general contractor. They had come in, they painted everything. And then Disney Imagineering came and weathered everything. And then the painting contractor came back for an inspection and saw that everything, he's like, what happened to our paint job? Everything is, And he had his crew come start repainting because he thought that he was going to get in trouble. And they painted over the art, the weathering. Oops. And I thought that is a hilarious. Every time I walk to New Orleans, I look up at if you look at where the drain is, you see the water stains under the drains and stuff. And the guy thought that was actually something had gone wrong with his guys, and he went through. So that's one story. And then the story my dad had a direct relationship with was when they built the Bear Country Jamboree. He supplied the lumber for that. And then at the end, if you remember the old Bear Country, there was wood paneling in the waiting area. And so they were getting towards the end of construction. And, in California, we have a lot of pine up in Northern California. Tage knows this. He grew up there. A lot of it's called Ponderosa pine. It's like a very common breed of wood up here. But apparently the architect or Imagineering had called for Mississippi pine. Like a different breed of tree that's in Mississippi. And they realized at the very last minute that they needed, that the plans called for that. And so they called my dad and said, hey, we need all this lumber. We need it yesterday. And he's like, Northern California pine looks identical. You really couldn't tell a difference, and I can get that to you really fast and cheap. And the guy said, nope, it calls for Mississippi, and so my dad's company had to contract with a mill, Mississippi.
Oh, wow.
They literally chartered airplanes, the lumber here. It was massively expensive to get the lumber here. And so they got it done, and, everything's good. And then on the walkthrough, my dad was there for the walkthrough a couple weeks later, because this was at the very end of the project. When you're paneling the waiting area, you're pretty close to done. And when they went into the waiting area, and somebody had painted it all. And so they had, at some point, they decided they didn't like the look, and they just painted it red. And the contractor looked at my dad and just said, don't say a word.
At least
actually, he said, don't say a word. My dad said, the way my dad tells her, he said another word in the middle of those two words.
Oh, that's
he always
crazy.
Thought that was funny. Yeah. My dad was from Missouri, so he loved that ride anyway. So, but he felt every time I went as a kid, and then he would tell me that story every time I went into it.
I was gonna say, I feel like that had to have been a story that every time you guys got to relive it.
This was Mississippi pine behind here when it could have been.
Nobody knows this, but
it's red.
Painted over it.
Plywood.
Yeah. Could have been the cheap scrap wood from the back, but nope.
But nope. We flew it in special. That's amazing.
I think that's kind of indicative of the Imagineering process. It's they have a look and they get there, and they're artists. They have the right to change their minds.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Well, David, we have had a great time talking to you about everything Disneyland. And I'm sure, just like every Disneyland fan, we could probably talk for hours and hours more, but we want to be respectful of your time. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about that we didn't get a chance to talk about?
I think if people are listening to the show, they're already in the team, right? They're already Disneyland fans. So just enjoy it. Make sure when you go to be pleasant to the cast members. It's a hard job. I used to be one.
Oh, yeah.
You know, one of the nicest things you can do is when a cast member goes out of their way for you is that you can go in the app and give them a compliment, or go down to Main Street and give them a compliment. I mean, we live in a culture now where it's very easy to complain when you're unhappy, but people don't stop to share the love when somebody goes out of their way for you. And there's so many design cast members that work so hard. So, and I'm not talking about the suits. I'm talking about those people wearing the name badges, bringing you your Coke. Yeah. Try it. Next time you go, try and find one person you can give a guest compliment to.
Every trip we give multiple.
You know what? The thing that's so great is that they have it in the app now, so you can do it
right when it happens.
Right away. The only thing I wish there was a little box so I could give like a more specific or more personal thing instead of having to, click a drop down. But I love that they've made it much, much simpler to do. So yeah, there you go. We'll challenge everyone. Every day you're at the park, submit at least one cast compliment, because I know there's probably more folks than just one a day that deserve it for sure.
The other thing I'd say is, even though I'm a nerd, I'm going to try and get this DLR field thing going again. So if you're interested, go over to YouTube, check it out. I'll give a link to Tage, and you guys have inspired me. I need to do that. It's so fun, and it gives me something to share. I love talking about Disneyland anyway.
There you go. I love it.
Yeah. We'll put that link in the show notes. Is there anywhere online that people can follow you or learn more about you? Or, I mean, you're a tech person. I can't believe, you're probably not online at all, right?
Yeah, the main thing for me, for my main gig, is maxsparky.com. And what I cover there, I'm an enthusiast of the Apple technology. I think Apple's done a good job. But my whole argument is that, when I was a kid growing up, we thought technology was going to solve all our problems and make it easier. But what's happened is, Silicon Valley kind of let us down. They figured out that they can make a lot of money selling advertising. And so much of technology these days does not help you become your best self. It actually gets in the way of you doing your most important work. So I like to try and teach people how to use technology to go against the grain of what Silicon Valley wants, and use this stuff to actually get better and do your most important work. So that's kind of my focus over at maxsparky.com.
And if you are a Mac user and you want to learn about some of these technologies, I know David's being super nice and not pumping a bunch of stuff, but he does a great series of how-to guides called the Field Guides, not just Disneyland Field Guides, but also technology field guides that I have purchased more than one of. In fact, I'm going through, I know it's late, but I'm going through your shortcuts field guide right now because I finally decided I should learn how to use shortcuts. And so I'm currently going through that as we speak.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much. And thanks for you guys for what you do. I listen to your show, and I love the enthusiasm you bring and the love of Disneyland. I mean, so many people, it's just such a wonderful place that we have in our lives, and I'm glad you guys are able to come visit. Next time you're out, you have to let me know. Maybe I'll take you on a ruck.
There you go.
Totally. You know what's funny is in October, Teresa and I and our husbands we're all heading out there because we're going to do one of the Oogie Boogie Bash nights. And they're producers on the show. And her husband loves exercise and running, and my husband's kind of gotten into it lately too. So I'm sure that they would love to join all this. And you could have like a little group of people.
Yeah.
Disneyland Rucking around the park.
I love it.
Kind of fun.
So, David, before we let you go, we have one final question to wrap. If you could work at Disneyland, sky's the limit. You can make something up, but what would you do?
Okay, that's a good question. I think what I'd really love to do is I'd love to get the reins of Batu and like fix it the way I want it fixed,
Yeah.
I guess that would be the management role. Again, I don't think they'd keep me long because I would spend too much money. Just a little side note. Have you guys ever noticed how like there's always that tension between art and commerce? It's like, if there hadn't been Roy Disney, I'm not sure Disneyland would exist because Walt Disney would have spent all the money. And so that's always a thing. So I get it. But I still want to, I'm on the Walt side of things. Do you ever hear that story? And I don't know if it's true. I've been trying to get someone to confirm it. Maybe one of your audience members knows. I heard a story once from somebody that had been around the block that said when Roy Disney went on like a European vacation with his family, that's when Walt had them gold gilt the castle.
Oh, yeah.
I heard that. I don't know if it's true or not, but I totally believe he would do it while his brother was at it.
Yeah, he did it. I know he did it behind Roy's back. I don't know if Roy was on vacation or what it was, but he quickly took seize of an opportunity when Roy was not going to be around to say no.
But you know what's funny, David? We went on a studio tour, and I thought it was the funniest story that was told on the studio tour, which was that the water tower on the lot, most water towers have 4 legs, but Roy thought 6 looked better, so he paid the $3,000 extra to add 2 extra legs to the water tower. And I'm like, we found the thing that Roy wanted to spend money on.
Yeah.
Of all the things, that was it.
To really answer your question, if Disney would call me and say, we want you to work 1 Jungle Cruise shift a month, and we're not going to pay you, I would do it. I would do it. I'd show up once a month, and I'd spend 8 hours going around on that boat, and I would have a great time.
There you go. That's awesome. They need that. They need like a retired skippers club that you guys can just come in and do a shift every once in a while to kind of give the attraction a little bit more, change things up for the locals like us, or have your friends and family come, or whatever. Like that would be
influence.
be a bad influence on the current and new generations of skippers. Pass down the torch a little.
Can I go down one more rabbit hole?
That's awesome.
I know I've kept you guys.
Yeah,
of course
one more
you
rabbit
can.
Hole.
We love rabbit holes.
We need the Adventurers Club back, and we need it in downtown Disney. That is what we need. I feel like the California locals would keep that place booked nonstop.
Oh yeah.
And like every time they do construction in downtown Disney and they don't build an Adventurers Club, a little part of me dies, because I feel like it would be so successful.
Look, there you go. You can even take the old Rainforest Cafe thing, because we've been talking like they could make that into a Star Wars restaurant. That'd be cool. But even better, you could make that the Adventurers Club, because you're like in a temple and it's already a restaurant. That should be a very easy thing to do.
The locals would book that thing up months in advance. That's my
Yeah.
They would. I mean, have you, so continuing on rabbit holes, have you experienced, what is it, Tiki Day or Adventureland Day, the unofficial holidays that happen in Adventureland?
Yeah. The last time we did it, we went actually, when Adventureland Day happened this year, for reasons, my wife and I were in Orlando. So we actually did it at Disney World.
Oh, sure. Oh.
But yeah. And so, we've done it. It's fun. Yeah, that stuff is fun.
Yeah.
I love all that fan stuff. I think the more of it, the better.
Mm-hmm. I'm so appreciative that, social media's kind of helped those things grow so more people can learn about it. But then also, B, because they've grown, that the parks seem to still be very welcoming and receptive to it, and haven't said, no,
too big.
Don't do this anymore. So I think it's a really fun relationship.
Yeah, the Orlando operations were awesome. They had they had photographers there, and then they let us all skip the line. So, because there was 300 jungle-ish looking people, and they just got a series of boats, and they sent us all out together on the boats, and it was fun. Yeah,
fun. Very, very cool. Very cool.
Creating the magic they're good at.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Well, David, thank you so much for spending some time with us. I'm sure our listeners are just going to love hearing your stories. Yes.
Thank you, David. We had so much fun.
My pleasure. I hope to see you guys soon at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. You have heard us talk about our great experiences staying at the Howard Johnson Anaheim. Well, we have partnered with them to offer our listeners some really cool discounts. Weekly tiers can get 15% off their next stay. To take advantage of this discount, head on over to DLWeekly.net and click on the Howard Johnson logo. The cool thing is you don't even have to use a promo code anymore. As long as you click the link on our website, so just click the Howard Johnson logo, it'll take you right to the booking page, and the discount will automatically be applied. So it doesn't matter if you're a rewards member or if you want to take advantage of the DL Weekly rate, you will be able to take advantage of any of those discounted rates there. So remember, we just talked about how D23 dates have been announced, so this would be a great place to go stay for D23, the Ultimate Fan Event.
Looks like we're coming in for a landing, gang. But please stay listening until trivia comes to a stop. And then you can walk to the nearest exit. Thanks for listening to the 8th wonder of the world, DL Weekly.
Welcome back to Trivia Land, where we are going to find out the answers to tonight's questions and see how Tag and Teresa and how you, the listeners, did. Tag, Teresa, how are you feeling about these answers?
I don't know.
Not great.
I feel better about the second half.
Okay. Well, let's see. Your first listener-submitted question from listener Sean D. There is a crest above the entrance to Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. What are the two mottos on this crest? Your answer was Semper something.
Yeah,
The correct answer that we were looking for was Toady Acceleradio and Semper Absurdia.
Absurdia. That's good.
1/4 of the words.
Look at
Vern.
that.
Which actually does translate in Latin to always silly or always
I
absurd.
Love that. Semper absurd.
And if you put it all together, it's Toad rides always silly, or Toad accelerates
that's
always
great.
silly.
That's
Boom.
amazing.
I love Mr. Toad.
Your second regular round question from listener Shanna D. When DCA opened in 2001, what show was playing in the Hyperion Theater, and how long did it run for? After much debate, you decided on Steps in Time, and Tag said it ran for 10 months, and Teresa said that it ran for 18 months. The correct answer that I'm looking for is Disney's Steps in Time, running from February 8th through October 14th
Oh.
for just over 8 months.
See, he did slip.
He did slip. We should have gone with it.
But see, you had 18, so I thought maybe he was just taking like the 8 from your 18.
I was thinking I went with 18 because that's like how long they do celebrations for
Oh,
now.
jeez.
So it's like maybe that's a some sort of entertainment rotation thing.
So
I don't know.
Teresa had said 15, and I wrote down 15, and then she said 18, and I was making a big 8 over the 5 on the 18 as I looked up and I saw the 8 on my computer, and then I was trying to make myself say 10, and there were too many 8s in front of my eyes, and I couldn't
We
say
should have
the
taken
word.
the accidental hint when we could have.
Oh, well.
Yep. Your third regular round question from listener Shelley E. Where is the Lily Pond Lounge located in Disneyland? You answered Lewis's Critter Corner. The correct answer that I was looking for was Lewis's Critter Club.
Oh, dang it. We were so close.
I'm going to give it to you, obviously. 'cause
Oh,
Club
Pooh's
I
Corner.
think the club is in the corner.
Yeah, it's semantics. I mean, really.
Yeah, the Lily or the Lily Pad Club, wasn't it?
Lily Pond Lounge.
Lounge.
Why can I not
lounge.
say pond?
It was
Pond,
called
pod.
Lewis's Critter Club.
Yeah, it was. It's because it's Pooh's Corner on the
Yeah.
other side. That's why we got confused. But it sounds like Vern's going to be nice and give it to us.
Yes,
Thanks,
of course. You're welcome.
He's like, I have to take pity on you.
Yeah.
And your fourth and final regular round question from listener Paige N. How many people visited Disneyland in 1966? You said 6.6 million. Well, 1966 was a significant year with the openings of Small World, Primeval World, and New Orleans Square. And with all these special openings, that brought in a whopping 6.7 million people.
Dang.
Or, by other estimates, 7 million. Anywhere between 6.5 to 7 is acceptable in my eyes. I
we
found a
got
lot
that
of different
too.
sources.
Vern, you're in a very generous mood tonight.
This one was, every source that I trust was very split on this one.
Sure.
It's somewhere
Well,
between
'cause-
6.5
yeah,
and 7.
Disney doesn't release the actual numbers,
Well,
so it's
and
all estimates.
How accurate were their records back in 66? Yeah, so I'm accepting your 6.6
Well,
because
thank you.
it's in the range of everything I found, and I'm happy
We need
with
all
it.
the help we can get
Yeah.
over here in Trivia Land. Especially after the Toad crest.
Yeah, that's right.
And your bonus question tonight that was come up with by me researching the last question. Based on the Rite of Spring segment of Fantasia, a segment of the Disneyland Railroad features a diorama of dinosaurs. What is the actual name for this part of the attraction? Both of you saying that it's called Primeval World. The correct answer, the segment opening in 1966, Primeval World.
Woo!
Good job, us.
That one took a little too long for me to figure out, but we got there. I also just realized you changed your hat at some point.
Yeah. There was the black hat for asking and the red hat for answering.
I didn't realize that that we had two.
Vert does that a lot.
Yeah. Sometimes I change hats for every question because I have enough hats.
I have seen that.
I am a choom. I wear many hats.
There you go.
Yes. And now, a different hat for the outro.
That's fitting because that's your D23 2019 cap.
Yes.
And we just had Destination D23 this past weekend. So look at that. You're accidentally in theme.
That's how wonderful I am. Well, listeners, how did you do listening at home? How do you think Tag and Teresa did? Do you have that perfect question that's going to really stump them next time? If you do, please feel free to send that in at dlweekly.net/trivia.
Well, we will be back next week with more Disneyland news and information.
Until then, go out and enjoy the parks.
And a special thank you to Sidel for editing the podcast and also to Andy Mack for all the wonderful character transitions.
Hello, I am Baymax, your personal podcast companion. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this episode? My scans indicate you have been a good weekly tier. Have a lollipop. Now excuse me while I let out some air. Goodbye.